What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I was getting ready to do some work on my XB8 buggy here when I was mulling over content ideas, and I thought that this would be a great opportunity for me to do kind of a freeform style video while also getting some work done on this buggy for an upcoming series race. And I want to talk about something that I think can be crucial to any race program, but in our case, an RC race program, and that is goal setting. Now, it might sound a little cliche to, set your goals, right? But I think it can act as a catalyst to a race program. Whether you are a seasoned veteran who's kind of flatlined and maybe you're not progressing anymore, or maybe you're a new person and you're just kind of looking where to get started, right? How do you get faster? I think that doing something as simple as setting goals can be incredibly valuable, right? When I first started, my local track opened at 8 o'clock and practiced till 12, and racing was thereafter. And I would always get to the track right at 8, practice for 3 or 4 hours, and then I would leave. And that's because I didn't think I was ready to race, right? And how did I know I wasn't ready to race? Because I set a goal for myself. I set a goal of making it around the track at race pace, which granted, at the time was not very fast, but at race pace nonetheless, I wanted to make it around the track without being marshaled. That was my goal. I didn't want to crawl around the track. Of course, I could have rolled all the jumps and, just nursed it around every corner and, made my goal, right? But no, I wanted to do actual race pace, make it around the track, and not be marshaled. And that would tell me that, one, I could be competitive, right, to race, and that I could also not be in people's way, right? So, it started just as me crashing on the first corner, then that evolved to me, crashing on the jumps only, right? Then that evolved to only crashing on the hard jumps, to maybe only crashing on one jump, right? And then finally one day I was doing laps without crashing. And, by the end of that 4-hour practice session, I could maybe do 3-4 laps without crashing. And, that's a qualifier worth, right? And I knew I was, ready to race. And that day I stayed to race. After that, after I, started club racing and was, could actually compete, is when I started doing actual, full weekend events, series races and 3-day races and regional races. And my goal changed, right? It was no longer about, just crashing in practice, right? It was about making the A main. That was my goal. I didn't care if I was in the B main and had to bump. I didn't care if I was mid-pack in the A. I didn't care if I was qualified last in the A. My goal was make the A main. And if I made the A main, then that was a good weekend. And as I got better and started always making the A main, my goal started to be, just finish 5th. That's all you have to do, finish 5th. If I qualified 8th, I'd only have to beat 5 people. If I qualified last, I had a little bit more work to do, but the goal was to finish 5th. Anything above that was just a bonus. Then, as the weeks and months went by, and I was always making the A main and always fighting for 5th, and started qualifying 5th or above, the goal changed to, let's come in 3rd, right? Let's beat, if I qualify 5th, let's beat 2 people and let's finish 3rd. Then again, as the months go on, I got better and better, and I started, fighting for wins. The goal was to TQ and win. And by the end, I started in January, right? My first big race was in January. My last race of the year was in December. I think in January I finished 13th in Sportsman, so that's what, maybe second or third in the B main. And by December, I had been kicked out of Sportsman, actually bumped out, and was forced to race intermediate because I qualified 10th I qualified top 10 in the intermediate class. So I think that progression I attribute to goal setting, right? Having an actual concrete plan, not just running laps day in and day out, and having no achievable endpoint, right? I think setting goals gives you something to work towards, and I think it can be invaluable for any part of life, but especially racing. So take that into consideration the next time you're at the track. Choose a goal, right? Maybe start small and just choose a corner, right? Set a goal. I want to nail that corner every time. I want to nail that jump. I want to nail that downside every time. Make that your goal. Or maybe it's the A main, maybe it's the win, right? But I think setting goals is incredibly crucial, so you're not just mindlessly going through the motions. So just a quick video for you guys. If you guys enjoy this type of free form kind of conversational video, let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.